I bet that you feel incredibly frustrated because despite all your efforts in the gym, you still don't look like you train. And there's a high chance you're falling into this very common issue I see with men, thinking that you can out-train a bad diet. And I get it, you're lifting heavy, you're training consistently, maybe even doing your cardio, but something's not quite clicking. And in this video, I'm going to explain the exact reasons why you keep spinning your wheels, don't see any progress, and why you cannot out-train a bad diet. What happens when you finally fix this, and what you need to do to get lean and jacked at the end of this video and see progress instantly. And if you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Jack. I've coached over 250 men to get in incredible shape, feel confident in and out of the clothes, complete Ironmans, triathlons, marathons, get photo shoot lean, and feel confident with how they look. So the real problem is, and if we break this down, a lot of it comes down to how you're managing Thursday to Sunday. You're doing so much hard work Monday to Thursday, training hard, eating really consistently, and then as soon as Thursday afternoon hits, that's when everything goes out the window. You're not tracking your food over the weekends, you're reaching for takeaways because you've got nothing prepped, and you tell yourself that you'll tighten up come Monday. But all that does is just build that consistent cycle of binge restrict, restart Monday, and you're on this hamster wheel of trying to progress. And then to compensate, you try and think about burning it all off in every single gym session. But we both know that doesn't happen. It takes way more energy to burn calories off than to manage it in the first place. And so this is what happens when you are consistently making these poor decisions around your nutrition for half of the week. We don't eat enough fiber, so our digestion's impacted. Everything just goes through our gut. We're not digesting and utilizing that nutrients, if you can call it that, to help you train, recover, get in better shape. This ultimately leaves you more bloated and struggling to help you feel confident with how you look. And because we're consuming more alcohol, we're not actually going to be burning many calories because this inhibits our ability to burn body fat. Every time that we ingest alcohol, it's the thing that gets burnt off the fastest, which then pushes your progress back even more when it comes to burning body fat. And then we're hungover. The step count's lower, brain fog kicks in, anxiety as everyone calls it, and ultimately this makes it incredibly challenging for us to be active and make good decisions around food. When our brain is impaired, there's research to suggest that we make poorer decisions with our nutrition, and therefore we're inconsistent with intensity in the next few gym sessions heading into the week. And so the fix is to do this. It's not about training harder, it's about managing our nutrition better. Because if we can improve the food quality that you're eating, opting for single ingredient foods on meals out, picking more fruits and vegetables throughout the week, we are far more likely to improve our digestion, improve our stress management, and this allows us to put better fuel into the car so the car can go faster. Ultimately, if the car doesn't have oil, if it doesn't have a windscreen wash, if it doesn't have good tires, the car's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be really inefficient and it's going to break at some point because everything's grinding against each other. And this is why it's so important that we fuel the body correctly. This gives us a clearer head and better energy management, so we go into the week feeling energized rather than this hangover and jet lag that's created by sleeping in and trying to recover from a few days of heavy drinking and poor food quality. And I'm not sitting here telling you don't eat nice food. What I'm saying is that, like, pick your battles, right? Pick those moments that you're going to make better choices rather than just sitting there and going, cool, I'm going to eat out every single meal of the day. Maybe it's just making a smart decision at one of those meals, because that is still an improvement compared to where you were last week. And when you come into those training sessions, be more productive with them. Go in with an intensity of trying to push harder than a 7 out of 10. If you go into those sessions, you get off an exercise and you're like, oh, things are good. That was a good exercise. That was a good session. We're probably not pushing ourselves. You want to be coming out those sessions fatigued, tired, working hard, maybe getting a sweat on and feeling the burn, so to speak, because this is good indicators of training to a level of intensity that's going to, one, build muscle mass, fire up the cylinders, and help you burn more body fat if paired with a good quality diet and a calorie deficit. And this allows us to stop using weekends as a write-off. This means that you're not trying to escape your life. You're not dealing with the stress of your personal and work life by vanishing off into the distance, eating poor quality food, drinking lots of alcohol. There are still times that you can socialize. You can still be present with the people around you, but it might not necessarily mean that you need to be drinking or eating crap food like everyone else, especially if you want results that are different to everybody else. And so some action points that you can take away instantly. Start thinking about prepping food on 2 days. I always found that with myself, I used to reach for poorer quality food Thursdays to Fridays when I didn't have any food prepped. I'd reach for takeaways more often if I didn't have food. I could quickly make something that was just as tasty. Sure, a good Chinese is fantastic. I'm not going to say don't have them occasionally, but you can make a really good stir fry, adding in some cool ingredients to give you the crunch and the experience you want, maybe even a little bit of MSG if you've got it on hand, to make the food just as tasty without all the fried unnecessary items. When you go for meals out, using the 2 out of 4 rule, where you pick 2 of the options from the menu. This could be starters, mains, drinks, or desserts. And instead of having all of them, you pick 2. This allows us to manage those calories really well. And one of the best concepts I've ever heard was the 3-bite rule from one of my clients, Andy, who uses this all the time. Him and his partner will split a dessert if they're gonna have one, and they'll both have 3 mouthfuls. The first one is the initial excitement of the taste. The second one is to recognize texture, any nice intricacies of the meal. And the third one is to create the satisfaction. And then from there, typically you're going to be okay. Instead of wolfing down a 400 calorie plus dessert that might not be necessary for 3 bites instead. Using calorie banking is a nice, neat way to be able to manage these elements even more. Whether that's stacking calories throughout the week to then use at the weekend, or throughout the day of an event. Now, I'm partial to using day event calorie banking rather than a week-long calorie banking because I don't think that a week-long calorie banking teaches people about making better decisions with the quality of their food. It's almost an opportunity for people to overdo it at the weekend because they think they've saved so many calories. But all this does is leave you more tired throughout the rest of the week into your sessions, and it gives you the opportunity to consistently build this binge and restrict cycle that we're trying to break right now whilst you're watching this YouTube video. And lastly, train closer to failure. Most guys are going through their workouts with no intensity at all. And I guarantee you that if you start to push yourself even more, you're gonna see so much more progress than you realize. So the key takeaway here is that you don't need a new diet. You need better decision making from Thursday to Sunday. And as boring as that sounds, if you want to change how you look, you need to change the actions that you're doing. Train harder, recover better, and try and eat less processed food. And you are definitely guaranteed to see huge progress from that. If you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend you go and watch this video, which is going to teach you everything you need to know about calorie leaks, which is the thing that's holding you back the most when it comes to tracking your calories. If this helped, please drop a comment below about the biggest takeaway for yourself, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next